We made it. We're back. It's Wednesday, 3 o'clock. You know what we do. The mission here is always to add value to your life. Guys, my name is Randy. I planted grapes in a field one day, and look what happened. Oh my gosh, right? And you know why? I am surrounded by greatness. Absolute greatness. We got Sally over here. Right, Sally? Right? We got Teresa over here. Teresa. Jeff's over here. Doug's over there. Oh my God, guys. If you haven't noticed, I love life just a little bit. I say in the undergrad, you're going to notice a little bit. Did you know that my little girl Maggie wrote a book? Yo, Mary Wade, how are you? I see you, Mary Wade. It was so good to see you. There's Gerald. The Wade family has arrived. I love it, guys. It was good to see you over the weekend. Man, it was so nice, wasn't it? I love that you said, I love this weather. It's crisp. It's cool. I can wear a sweater. It feels good, right? You know that my little girl Maggie wrote a book. Check it out. There's her picture. We put her on the back of it. It's called Bumblebees, Butterflies, People, and Unicorns. It's a great book. There's 2 wonderful lessons at the end of it. And we even, when we had the artist do the pictures of the kids, we made it look like the children. It's so good. What's happening, Lucy? I see you. And I don't know if you know, but I wrote a book. It's called Exposing the Roots. It's a fun book. Guys, we have sold a lot of books, thousands and thousands and thousands of copies. You can find it on Amazon, or you can find it here at the winery. There's even an audio version, and I did the recording. I gotta admit, not the best reader. It took a lot of hours, but man, Ralph spliced it together. It's enthusiastic. It's powerful. You will feel every sentence in that book. I love y'all. Mary Wade, I love it. So good, right? Thanks for the review, by the way. Mary Wade, you read her review on it. It's spectacular. I'm grateful for you, Mary Wade. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, we're doing an Easter service here at the winery. It happens Easter Sunday. We're doing a sunrise service, and it starts at 6:45, right? 6:45 when the sun comes up. I love the hearts. You guys are with me on this. And then there's another one at 9:30 in the grand tent. We'll have the heat on. If you come to the sunrise service, bring a jacket, bring a sweater. It might be chilly out there, but it's going to be so much fun, guys. We have been putting this together for months now, and we're just hoping and praying it's one of the most spectacular mornings of our lives. We love y'all. Thanks for being a part of my life, by the way. I hope you love today's talk. It's a fun one. A little bit different. Gotta admit, very different. I just read it to everyone, and Teresa's going, yeah, a little bit different. What's up with Randy, you know? So I was watching a YouTube video, and I'm watching it, and I'm getting frustrated at this video. I'm like, what is this? There was a guy, and he's showing a complete lack of respect to a police officer. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, this guy's recording the officer, and he's like taunting him, saying all kinds of nasty things to the officer. And then he turned the camera on himself, and he's like talking to the camera, and then he puts it out into the world. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you would think that this guy would be embarrassed to act like that. But yet he's the one going, yeah, look what I'm doing. This is how I am. And I'm thinking, if he only saw himself with a different perspective, he wouldn't be doing this. So I got writing. And guys, this is the 3rd version, because the first 2 versions, they go, throw it away, don't do it. I was frustrated. You know, because it's, you know, if you ever want to have authority, you have to respect authority, because you can't give what you don't got. And if you don't have it within you, no one will ever give you the authority. So you got to respect authority if you ever want to have authority. And everyone that doesn't respect authority, guess how much they have? 0. It's just the way it works. You with me on this? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And if people want to have leadership and they want to influence the world, people have to like you and trust you. That's the foundation, right? Trust, right? Mary Wayne, you are with me on this, right? I love you, Mary Wayne. So this video got me frustrated. And it got me thinking about the correlation between rights and responsibilities, because there is a direct connection. Because that guy, he was almost like, he was proud that he didn't understand the direct connection between his right of freedom of speech and his responsibility to consider his fellow citizens. Because guess what? That police officer, he was a U.S. American just like he was. And I'm thinking, what are you gaining? What are you gaining? You're all in the same boat. You're both in the same boat. Why? Rights without responsibilities leads to chaos, period. It always does. Always has, always will. You know, I have a little boy. His name is Joseph. And I tell my little boy, I go, Joseph boy, when you can control yourself, you can be in charge of you. And when you can't control yourself, I will control you. So in other words, I'm telling him that when you have all the discipline inside of you, guess what? You're in charge, man. Because when you control yourself, nobody needs to control you. But if you can't control yourself, some external control will control you. So I'm trying to teach him, develop control within to become a free person. Period, right? That's the way it works. And this guy on the video, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's so missing this. His mom had never taught him, right? His mom had never taught him. I mean, rights without responsibilities leads to chaos. Imagine if no one followed the rules of the road. Imagine that. We have the right to drive because we're responsible to follow the rules. And if you don't, you lose your license, right? You lose the right to drive on the road. Rights and responsibilities, they go hand in hand. Or imagine this. Imagine if you didn't have to go to medical school to become a surgeon and you didn't have to earn the right to practice surgery. You could just show up at the hospital and go, yeah, I feel like practicing surgery today. They go, here's the scalpel, have fun. No, that's not the way it works. You pay the price, you earn the right, you're responsible to do it, now you have the right to do it. That's the way. Yo, Tina, I'm doing it. Tina, I read this to Tina last week, she goes, don't do it. It's so true though. This stuff is being missed in society. I think it's not being taught in the schools. Rights and responsibilities. Man, if you're not responsible for the rights that you have, you will lose the right. It's that simple. It applies to every area of life, whether you're driving a car, whether you're working at a job. I mean, we have a job right now that we're doing because we're responsible to maintain that job. And guess what? If we don't do the job or we're not responsible for it, guess what happens? We lose the job. It's just this is the way it works. But the problem with society is that we're all in the same boat. You see, that's the problem. And what you do affects me, and what I do affects you. And what that person down the street does affects us too. Because we're all in the same boat. It's just the way it works. And this is why it's so frustrating, because we are all far more interconnected than we realize. I mean, years ago, there was that game called the law of 8 degrees of separation. Today, it's like 3 or 4. That means everyone on the planet is separated from you by about 3 degrees of separation. So what's happening in another country? It's affecting you right now. It's affecting me right now. Right now. And this whole concept of like, I can completely be irresponsible and express my freedom of rights? No, that is not the way it works. Because eventually you will lose the right. I don't mean to go on and on, guys, but that video got me fired up. Rights and responsibility, they should be taught in high school today. If you have a job, like I said, you're responsible for the job. We have a Statue of Liberty. I've often said, the Statue of Liberty gives people the right to freedom, right? Right next to the Statue of Liberty, we should build the Statue of Responsibilities. I mean, it should be sitting right there next to it to remind us that, yes, you have this, but you also have this. And if you don't respect this, guess what? You lose that. But it's being missed today. The most free person in the world, like I teach my little boy, is the disciplined person. They're completely disciplined. In fact, the highest paid people in the world, no one tells them what to do. They do it themselves. I love the hearts. You are with me on this, right? And in all jobs, the lowest paid people, they are told what to do every single second of their job because they don't have it on the inside, so it needs to be on the outside. Tina, you with me on this, right? I love it. When responsibility is on the inside of the individual, they don't need to have outside constraints. Simple, isn't it? They will do the right thing even when no one's looking. I teach my kids this. I go, Maggie, baby, brush your teeth even when I'm not looking. Do the right thing. Do it small. Because if you win the small things, you'll win the big things. So do the right thing when no one's watching you do it. Because guess who will always know? You will. And your self-esteem is depending on you doing the right thing when no one's looking. Because guess what? We always know. Are we on this? The most irresponsible people in the world, well, guess where they end up? In prison. If they can control themselves in society, guess what? Society says, lock them up, put them away. We cannot deal with them. And they lose all their rights. You see how rights and responsibilities are perfectly connected? If you have children or grandchildren, or you even know a child, talk to them about this. I talk to my kids all the time. Rights and responsibilities. I want you to have all the rights in the world, but I need you to have all the responsibility to own those rights. And when you have the responsibility to have the right, you can have any right you want. Maggie asked me questions like, Dad, when can I drive a car? I go, you can drive a car right now. I go, you can't drive on the road, but you can drive it in the field. She goes, are you serious? I go, yeah. If you're responsible enough to drive a car, I will put you in the car. We can drive around the field right now. Because you can drive a car, just not on the road, right? And she goes, oh my gosh. I go, yeah, responsibility. That's where it's at. If you're responsible enough to do it, we can do it. You right? The price of greatness is responsibility. In the end, it all comes down to that, doesn't it? I mean, it goes back to when we're a child and our parents get us a puppy, and they tell us, you can have this puppy as long as you take care of it and you feed it and you bathe it and you let it go outside and go potty, right? But if you're not responsible enough to take care of the puppy, then you can't have the puppy. This is not being taught today. Responsibilities and rights go hand in hand. They are connected to each other. Without responsibility, rights get lost. The problem with the guy out there, showing disrespect to that police officer, he's thinking he's expressing his freedom of expression. That's what he thought he was doing. But if everyone in the country acted like that guy, there'd be no more America. It would be chaos. So obviously, what's good for one is not good for all. It's not good for him either. It's the respect for the freedom we have that keeps America proud Americans. You with me, John? I love you. I love you, John, right? I love it, dude. I love the flag behind you. I love that. It's decency in conduct. It's law in the state. It's respect for authority. That's what keeps this country great. In the end, you think about it like this. No individual raindrop ever says, I'm responsible for the flood. But it takes all of them to create the flood. We are all in it together. And it's time that all of us say, today, I will show respect for my fellow American, no matter what they are, no matter who they are, no matter what position they're in. We respect them because we're all from the same source, and we're all searching for the same thing. After all, we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We don't want to be like that joke. There's a joke where you got two guys, they're in the rowboat, they're going out fishing, and they get out to the middle of the lake, and the one guy goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. There's a leak in the boat. You see the water coming up? And the other guy goes, what do I care? It's not on my side of the boat. Good, right? Guess what? They're all going down, right? We don't want the attitude, not on my side of the town. It's in our town. We're all in the same boat. And if there's a hole over there, guess what? The whole thing's sinking. I love the thumbs up. You guys are with me on this, right? Unless we can do something to stop these holes, America's in trouble. Just like this. To seize an opportunity, it requires our obligation to seize it. And every single possession that we have, it requires some extent of our duty to be responsible for it. And every right that we have requires our responsibility to maintain and keep that right. I love y'all. I love it. Sally's with me, right? I love y'all. Thanks for being here. I don't mean to rant and rave about this, but rights and responsibilities, they go hand in hand. And what's going to keep America great is the respect of the family. It's decency and conduct. It's law and order of the state. And in the end, that is what keeps it all going. I love y'all. Thanks for being part of my life. See you guys.